Douglas Allen Bickford. It is the 29th of September 2022, about 9 a.m. here, Pacific Standard Time. Broadcasting live out of my 105-year-old house here in my hometown of Klamath Falls, Oregon. Klamath Falls, Oregon is the gateway to Crater Lake National Park. You ought to come check it out. It's one of the 7 wonders of the world. I am on YouTube and Facebook and all the social media for one reason. That is to teach you, my audience out there, how to have a healthy mind and how to attain and maintain self-esteem. I am a psychiatrist, therapist, and counselor. I do not have a college degree, but the only reason you need a college degree, folks, is so you can go get a job and use that college degree so they will hire you. That's what the company requires that you have, or a state government or whatever. I have taught myself psychiatry. Okay. I don't need to work. I'm retired military. I'm retired at 66. Took my Social Security at 62, so I have plenty of money coming in. And I've taught myself psychiatry so I can help you all out there. Okay. Even without a college degree, I'm qualified to offer free, I said free, therapy and counseling and be your psychiatrist. And the reason I'm doing this is because there have been billions, I said billions with the B, folks, people that have been emotionally, sexually, or physically abused. I have taught myself, because of all my teaching myself psychiatry, how to heal myself, because I'm a victim of all three of those. But like I said, there's billions of you out there too that have been sexually, emotionally, or physically abused. It's one of the sad statistics. So I've taught myself how to heal myself. That's why I'm offering 1 hour a week, 4 times a month, therapy, free of charge for all of you out there. The only thing you're going to have to buy is this book right here. Okay. And I can help you. It costs 16 bucks, brand new on Amazon. Okay. Come right to your front door. So buy that book right now. Then call me at 458-232-5238 and I will set up your very first therapy session. Okay. The first thing you need to attain and maintain a healthy mind, okay, is a thing called self-esteem. And what self-esteem is, it's how you feel about yourself inside. It's also known as self-confidence, self-worth, self-love. Most people don't even know what the two words mean because nobody is teaching it. I'm the absolute only one out here teaching self-esteem. Okay, on Facebook, YouTube, television, you never hear the two words, okay? What it is, we've all been in romantic relationships. You know that good feeling you have towards that person? You know, they walk on water, they can do no wrong. You're bragging to all your family and friends about how great these people are. Your soulmate, you're going to live forever together happily. God got you together on purpose. That really good feeling. And it's a really good feeling, right? Well, what self-esteem is that feeling towards yourself. Okay. Dr. Susanna McMahon, she has the formal psychology degree, a doctorate. She also has a master's in philosophy. She's 73, lives in Midrick, Texas with her husband. She's had thousands of clients. People hire her and pay her big bucks to fix their unhealthy minds. Okay. She knew as a psychiatrist, a therapist, and a counselor that they didn't have self-esteem because nobody was teaching it even back then. This book was published 32 years ago. or 30 years ago, 1992. Every lesson in it, every chapter in it, every question in this book, it's written in question form, talks about how we've been trained and taught, brainwashed, not to have self-esteem. And the only way to attain and maintain a healthy mind is to attain and maintain self-esteem. So her thousands of clients paying her huge money, unlike I'm going to do for you, she had to come up with a concept to tell her clients to do to themselves so they could give themselves self-esteem. Nobody can give you self-esteem except for you. So here's that very simple concept that she came up with. It's called mirror therapy. She don't call it that. That's what I call it. She's also my trainer. Okay. She's the one that taught me everything I know about psychiatry and therapy and counseling. Okay. And that's why I'm offering this free service to you, because she's nowhere to be found. And there's very few people, therapists and psychiatrists, that are teaching how to attain and maintain self-esteem. Okay. Anyway, so here's that concept. You say 4 things to yourself in the mirror every day without fail. I love you. I love my inner child. I'm worthy to be loved. I'm worthy to love. I am full of goodness. Those 4 things will automatically give you self-esteem. I kid you not. If you do it and you keep doing it. But in order to maintain that self-esteem, it's like lifting weights. You have to practice it daily. If you start lifting weights for a while and you stop, you have to start over because you lose muscle mass. So you'll have to say it every day, literally for the rest of your life. Okay. I love Douglas Allen Bickford. I love my inner child. I'm worthy to be loved. I'm worthy to love. I'm full of goodness. It's going to give you self-esteem instantaneously. But like I said, you have to say it every day, literally. It'll take you less than 10 seconds. And if you're good looking, slender, you got lots of money, you can say, I love Douglas Allen Bickford too, and then call me and we can hook up. Okay. But just kidding. That's what got me in all my all my trouble with foreign marriages, because I believe that you have to be attracted and you have to sexually attracted to that other person. And they have to be good looking and they have to be slender, like all the TV shows, all these TV personalities, right? So we could make it and live happily ever after. But that's all illusion. It doesn't work. So anyway, the reason that mirror therapy is so powerful and why it works so well is because a psychological event happens in your brain, which is nothing more than a computer with feelings. That's what it is inside of your head. Okay. And it's programmable. You can't lie to yourself in the mirror. Okay. So that's why, especially when we get older, we all criticize and judge and condemn and say this terrible stuff about ourselves in the mirror while you're shaving as a man and putting makeup on as a woman, because we're all imperfect and because we're human, unlike the television says. And that's how you feel about yourself because of all how you've been taught and trained your whole life, right? You're taught to feel bad about yourself, so you can't say good things to yourself in the mirror because that's how you believe about yourself, the bad stuff, right? You can't say good things to yourself in the mirror. And those 4 things to say to yourself in the mirror every day without fail are a very good thing. You can't say it because you don't feel it, you don't believe it. So the very first time you do it, folks, you'll have to force yourself to do it. The more you say it, the more you feel it, and the more you believe it. Okay. The reason that self-esteem is the absolute most important thing you can have on the planet as a human being is this. There's 2 reasons. You can't be content without it. What content means is you feel good about how, where, and what you are. It's also known as internal peace. There are 12 things that people are using to try to be content. They are self-harm, which is scratching or cutting yourself, right? burning yourself with cigarette butts. People commit suicide, try to make themselves feel better. It's a very dangerous gamble, folks. Uh, all the social media, including Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, where I'm broadcasting here live on, drugs, all the illegal street drugs, all the prescription pills that your doctors are doling out by the billions unnecessarily because Big Pharma makes huge money off of it. Uh, and then the big one that nobody realizes is a drug is caffeine. Yes, your favorite beverage from Starbucks. It's a stimulant, folks. And you're using it for one reason, to make yourself feel better. That's why you have to have cups of coffee in the morning right after you get up, because you feel all blah. So you need a stimulant. And the other one is nicotine. Okay. Uh, Whether you smoke it or vape it, it's very terrible for you, just like caffeine. And people are addicted to those two substances and don't even realize it. Okay. Uh, the next one is alcohol. Yes, one beer, one glass of wine, all the hard liquor, one stiff drink, right? It's all got alcohol in it, and you're using it for absolutely one reason, to make yourself feel better. And people want to deny that they're using it to make themselves feel better, but there's no other reason to put alcohol in your body. If you like beer, get near beer, right? Doesn't have alcohol in it. If you like wine, drink fruit juice, or bitter fruit juice, because that's what that's what wine is. It's like that bitter taste. Okay, or it's a sweet wine, but it's terrible stuff. And you're drinking, using all those, just like I said, for one reason, make yourself feel good. There's no medical benefit uh, to put alcohol in your body. Okay, it destroys your brain cells. It destroys all of it, your liver, everything. Uh, but they've taught us just the opposite. The next one is sex. Feels good to have sex. As soon as you're done, it don't feel good no more. So you have to have more sex. People get themselves in trouble because of sex. Uh, because it feels good to have it, right? People cheat on their wives or their husbands because it feels good to have sex. Okay. But it's always a fleeting thing. So you have to have more sex to feel good. The next one is food. You get hungry, you eat, right? Then you overeat because it feels good to eat. Okay. And then because you overate, you get overweight, and that rhymes. And then you feel worse about yourself because you overate and got overweight. All right. You can see all this stuff going on all around us. Okay. There's a lot of people overeating. Just look around next time you go to the grocery store. Because they don't feel good about themselves. The next one is gambling. You go to the casino, you go to the bar where they have video poker, right? You go play cards somewhere. You go to Vegas, you go to Reno, you go sit behind that machine or whatever it is, whatever form of gambling it is, feels good to do it, but feels terrible to lose, okay? And then people feel bad about themselves because they lost a bunch of money. People actually commit suicide because they lost everything they owned because of gambling. I knew a guy down in Reno. This is years ago, back in the 90s. Uh, he's married, happily married to this lady, and he got involved with borrowing money from the casino, right, to gamble with. I mean, I'm talking like, and he got in debt like over $100,000. And those people are serious about getting their money back. They don't take, it's not like you owe money on a credit card. They'll kill you if you don't pay them back. So you have to pay them back. you can go charge up a bunch of credit cards, right? And you can quit paying on them, but nobody's ever going to do nothing to you because it's not illegal to get unsecured credit. The credit card company, whatever bank it uh, is taking the risk that you're going to quit paying it. Okay. The next one is television. Okay. Turn the boob tube on, man. Feels really good sitting in front of it while you're in all that fantasy and that illusion, whether you're watching the news or whether you're watching a sitcom or whether you're watching a movie, right? That's all illusion. Okay. But it feels good. But as soon as you turn it off, that feel good goes away. You have to watch more television. My fourth wife was addicted to television. And, instead of doing stuff we needed to do, it was like, let's go watch a movie at night. And then she was all into the news thing, dragged me into it for a while. Okay. In the morning, 2 hours on the frickin' laptop looking at all the junk going on all over the planet. Okay. Which is all out of our control. And then that was just one of the reasons I left her pushing 2 years ago now. Okay. Religion, exactly same thing. You go to church. It feels good to go do communion and all that stuff. Doesn't matter which one it is. Lutheran, Christian, Baptist, Buddhist, Seventh-day Adventist, Muslim, Orthodox Jew, Church of God, Church of Christ, all the different religions out there. I think there's like probably millions of them, right? It's all the same thing. You feel good while you're participating with all those people. But the thing with religion, Jehovah Witness, Mormon, right? They're always right. Everybody else is always wrong. Okay. And you have to believe exactly like them, or you can't be in that church, in that congregation, because they're so busy judging, condemning everybody else. And then you get in on all that. Okay. My ex-in-laws, I married this woman for 16 years, been going to the Lutheran church. So these two have been married 70 years. Toxic relationship forever, right? They go to the Lutheran church, right? Then I don't. I believe in God. I call it the Great Spirit, right? Uh, anyway, so I don't go to that church or whatever. And so they condemn, and his wife, judges and condemns and criticizes me for not going to that church. Okay. And that's what people that go to these churches do. But they do it if you don't go to that church, they condemn, judge, and criticize you because you don't go to their church. And they're all the same. Buddhist, Muslim, I don't care which one it is. That's always the same thing. Next one is material possessions. Feels good to get something new. Just like it feels good to go to church, right? Or something different. You get a new car, you get anything new. You go to the thrift store, you buy a bunch of junk you don't need, right? Feels good when you buy it. And then get it home, throw that junk in the closet. And then it ends up going into a garage sale, usually later, because you never used it, but it feels good while you're buying it. Just like that new car you bought, that car salesman talked you into to get huge payments, huge insurance, but you had to have that new car, right? And that car salesman is telling you how good you looked in it and everything, right? And then you bought it, and then that freaking thing sits in your driveway, and you're going, ah! After the good feeling goes away, stuck with a high car payment, stuck with high insurance. My daughter is this, okay? Had a perfectly good car. It was a Subaru Tribeca, which was a good car. Had a lot of miles on it. Traded that thing to the dealer for a Jeep Wrangler, right? Oh, it's only $28,000 it cost me, Dad. Instead of keeping that car, she gave it to them. They turned around and sold that car for about $5,000 probably. Gave her maybe $1,000 for it. And then they said she was getting a great deal. And now she's stuck with a high car payment, high insurance payment. I haven't talked to her about that car lately, but that's just what people do, you know. That's just one example I have from my own child. Okay. The next one is you get a brand new relationship. Feels super good. You know, that feeling when you get it. They can, walking on water. They they can do no wrong. Then that good feeling goes away and you throw that person away. Okay. Whether you married them or you didn't marry them. And then you go and try to get that good feeling, right? It's always fleeting. And the very last one is dinero, the green, the money. You get some money, it feels really good to get that money. I don't care how much it is. I don't care if you get $50. I don't care if you get $100. I don't care if you get $100,000. As soon as that money's gone, the feeling good feeling goes away, even if you put it in a bank and saved it. I saw this woman at the bank. Okay, this was not that long ago. She had thrown a note in the garbage can. This was at Wells Fargo. And on this note was written $75,000. Okay. And she was checking, I was waiting for the ATM. She was checking the balance in her account. And she had got that money wherever it came from into her account. And then I walked up, she looked at me, she had this big smile on her face. It was like, woo! And I know she had just got $75,000 put in her account wherever it came from. And she was young, okay. But it made her feel good to get that money. It happened to me. I got $145,000. I was like, whoa! That's what I ended up buying my house here with in Klamath Falls, Oregon, where I'm teaching out of. I paid cash for it. It was like, wow. And then I bought all my toys. But, which includes a Harley and, 6 vehicles and a snowmobile and a boat. I paid cash for everything, right? But that feel good went away. I got a little bit of it left, but I've invested back in my house and everything, which I continue to do. But that feel good, I don't get my happiness from that. I get my happiness from saying 4 things to myself in the mirror every day without fail. Because money and material possessions don't make you happy. They don't. I mean, I enjoy all my stuff now that I have self-esteem. Okay. And that's the 12 things that people are using to try to be content. They're absolutely will never make you content. All those 12 things. There's only one thing that will. And that's to look at yourself in the mirror, say 4 things daily without fail. Okay. So you can attain and maintain self-esteem. And that will give you that. And you will have permanent happiness and contentment, which I have now. The very next one is, the second thing is you can't love or love without self-esteem. So what happens is you'll attract somebody. If you don't have it, you'll attract somebody without it. If you have it, you'll attract somebody with it. Okay. The way to tell if you have self-esteem is this. If you very confidently can get in front of the mirror and say, I love you, I love my inner child, I'm worthy to be loved, worthy to love, and I'm full of goodness, then you have self-esteem. If you can do that daily, okay? And if you're married or a partner, you're living with a partner, if they can say that to themselves in the mirror daily with you, that means you both have self-esteem. If you can't, that means you don't have it. So more than likely you're in a toxic relationship if you're with somebody that doesn't have it, because you don't have it. Because what happens is in romantic relationships, after that good feeling goes away, that's when all those fights and arguments start. This is 2 without self-esteem. The cheating on each other, the drug and alcohol use, the lies, the secrets, that you keep from each other, right? Going to all your family and friends, telling everybody how terrible these people are to you. Even if you're still married to them, you're doing this stuff, right? And they're doing the same thing to you, but you're not telling each other that you're doing that kind of stuff. And this has all happened to me. And then because the relationship turned toxic, is you will divorce or separate. And then the same two without self-esteem will go jump in another relationship, and the exact same thing will happen because you got in another one without self-esteem. And then it's why you've been married more than once. Okay, it's why you've had many failed relationships. It's why I've been married 4 times. It's why I've had many failed relationships. Okay. The next thing that'll happen to the got together no self-esteem, those two will stay in that relationship forever. And the reason they stay is because they're being codependent on each other. They can't be alone. They don't want to be an embarrassment to all their family and friends and church members. They don't want to be a failure. They have nowhere to go, and they're afraid to leave. So they'll stay in it forever. And at that point, it becomes a dysfunctional family, and all the abuse, emotional, sexual, and physical abuse, gets swept under the rug by all the family members. And then dysfunctional families produce more dysfunctional families down the line, and the cycle continues. The very last thing that'll happen, the two that got together with no self-esteem, is this. After being in so many failed marriages or relationships, the two will just go, screw it, I'm done. Can't find anybody to love me. I can't find anybody to love. So they will be just as miserable alone as they were in the relationship, because you cannot be content. You can't have internal peace without self-esteem. Okay? And they'll use the 12 things to try to be content. Douglas Allen Bickford, psychiatrist, therapist, and counselor, has the cure. I got the fix for all of you out there. Say 4 things to yourself a mere daily without fail. Everybody that I just described, to the tune of billions of people. It'll fix a toxic relationship if everybody involved does it. It'll fix that person that's not content out there all alone. And you'll be content. You won't have to use the 12 things anymore to make yourself content. You'll have internal peace. You'll actually be able to find somebody with it if you get it. Okay? Self-esteem. Then you'll be able to find a healthy relationship. And then if you're in a dysfunctional family and all this family doesn't want to have change and want to looks at you and criticizes you because you're changing, it'll give you the strength and the courage to get out and remove yourself from that dysfunctional family. Then all parties get this book and go through the many other concepts in this book that'll fix your unhealthy mind. And then you can call me and I can be your mentor, and we can go through this book together, and I can help you and encourage you along the way in your newfound way of living, okay, which is with self-esteem. Then I can be your psychiatrist, your therapist, your counselor, and your friend. You will get to know me, and then I will help you along the way. I've been doing it for 2 years, and almost 2 years, pushing 2 years. And it has changed me from the inside out. And that's why I'm very confidently doing what I do here on Facebook and YouTube for almost 2 years. 458-232-5238. Call me to schedule your very first session. Okay. Now I'm going through this book one lesson at a time. Here's that next lesson. Why we don't need guilt or anxiety. Both guilt and anxiety are highly destructive. Like the weak ego, they function to make us feel bad about ourselves. They prevent us from being the best that we are capable of being, and they paralyze our actions. They have no viable function in the present. When we are living the moment, we have no time for guilt or anxiety. We are living our lives rather than judging our lives. We do not need guilt because we are equipped with a conscience. In this context, guilt and shame are equivalent. Our conscience tells us when we have done something wrong. The conscience says things like, oops, that was bad behavior. The conscience says, or I wish I wouldn't have done that or said that. Our conscience can be thought of as a gentle teacher, instructing us in the moment and how things are progressing and what we need to change. Once you trust yourself, you can trust your conscience. And 4 things to yourself in the mirror daily, folks, without fail, will make it so you can trust yourself. I know it worked on me. Guilt, on the other hand, can be thought of as a malevolent dictator. Guilt tells us that we are bad, that the sum of ourselves is inappropriate or evil or uncaring. Guilt takes one action or thought or feeling and generalizes it to the total person. Guilt allows us to feel overwhelmed with negativity and leaves us feeling powerless and helpless. That is why it is such an effective dictator. It quickly assumes total control over our natures, our behaviors, and our lives. Guilt is also insidious. Now think about this word. This word insidious means way beyond evil. It's like Jeffrey Dahmer eating his victims, right? Guilt is also insidious in that it perpetuates the continuation of the bad behavior. It can be thought of as an evil circle, a snake with a tail in its mouth. This is how guilt generally works. Now listen to this very carefully. You do something that is unkind or uncaring or destructive to yourself or others, something that you know or feel is wrong. You begin to feel guilty. The guilt grows. You begin to feel guilty, number 2. Number 3, the guilt grows. Number 4, you are now feeling acutely and painfully guilty, and pain is overwhelming. Number 5, you begin to look for a release from all this pain. Number 6, you start to externalize the reasons for your behavior. If he did this, then I wouldn't have done that, etc. Number 7, you increase the externalizations until you have rationalized and justified your behavior. Number 8, you believe your justifications. And number 9, you repeat the behavior that created the guilt in the first place. Wow. When was the last time anybody ever told you that one? Okay. Never. This pattern is well exemplified in the addictive relationship. One partner is the addict. The other is often codependent, and the blame for each other's behaviors falls on the other person because of the guilty cycle described above. You'll all know what she's talking about in this book, okay? The addictive thinking goes something like this. I do what I do. I feel bad about it, therefore proving I am a good person. When the pain becomes unbearable, I transfer the guilt to you, thereby justifying my own behaviors and giving me a rationale to continue. Oh, wow. This cycle only works in relationships in which we do not take responsibility for ourselves. We need to be responsible. We do not need to feel guilty. Take responsibility for your behaviors. Stop feeling guilty. Next time you feel guilty, stop. Tell yourself that you have done something you do not like. You will learn from this. Next time, you will not do the same thing again. Thank your conscience. Reward yourself for taking responsibility. Let go of guilt. In the same way, anxiety is not needed. Anxiety can be conceptualized in dreaming something that we do not want to occur. It is worrying about things that have not yet occurred. Once a thing has occurred, we begin to do something about it. How often do we feel a sense of relief when something we have been worrying about actually happens? We can deal with whatever happens in the present. We can never deal directly with anxiety. We do not need it. Anxiety may start out as a bad dream while we are awake, but it quickly progresses into a living nightmare. Like guilt, it takes us out of the present and puts us into a painful, discouraging, useless, time-wasting place. Let it go. Live the moment without either guilt or anxiety. We do not need either one when we're living a meaningful life. Wow. And so what you can do, so you don't live in guilt, you can say to yourself every day, I will not live in the guilt. I will not live in the past in guilt, past in guilt. I will not live in the future in anxiety. I will live in the moment. I say this to myself every day more than once. You can all do the same thing. And the other thing you can do is all that bad that's happened to you in the past. Take all of it and pick out the good stuff. Take the good stuff with you and remember the good stuff. And then throw away all that garbage. Okay, all the bad. Okay. And I say that to myself every day too. That's how I fix my unhealthy mind. You can all do the same thing. And then I can be your mentor. I can be your psychiatrist, therapist, counselor, and friend. And as you get to know me, we will become friends. Then we can help each other. All right. It works. It worked on me. Anyway, 458-232-5238 to schedule for your first therapy session and to talk to me. That's the absolute only reason I want a phone call, is so I can help you. I don't not seeking a relationship or anything with a woman, except for friends, or a man, just friends, right? Because I'm heterosexual. But anyway, you all have a great day out there on this Thursday. I'm going to have another lesson for you maybe tomorrow, which will be lesson 12, Does Evil Exist? I'll talk to you tomorrow.